Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Arms Trade Tycoon. Today, the actual FT-17. Previously, in episode 10, I misidentified the D1 as the FT-17. So I said, we're going to be improving the tank, the D1. Unfortunately, I completely misidentified it, and this is the D1. This is the FT-17. So let's see what sort of a freak tank we can make from this little thing. It's going to be mostly just a fun exercise because I want to see what I can do with this thing. Whereas, I don't think it'll sell. Because it's not likely able to have a whole lot of firepower. It's not likely to have a whole lot of armor either. Although, 24, 23, I'm not at all disappointed. So, let's start with the end in mind, as somebody suggested in the previous video. Select the gun that you want to use first. When it comes to the gun, I think we have a couple of different options. We can go with the Sturmpanzer turret and mount one of those machine gun turrets, because that's really all that they're good for. So that's the Sturmpanzer turret. The other ones don't exactly get any better gun either, so it's just going to be a machine gun tank. Or you can go with the tank turret that's actually supposed to be on there. So let's create a new version of that, because I'll probably have a lot better engineering for that. And the French used to have this gun, this one. This is the SA-18. If you want to, I don't know why, but you can just not give it a gun and, I don't know, make it a decoy. This one has an attribute sum of 111, whereas the German has a far, far longer barrel. Of course, with that also comes almost 3 times the weight, and an attribute sum which is quite nice. So that's going to be the new gun for the FT-17. Then we're going to have some sort of way to propel this gun. And I'm thinking, seeing as it used to have like a 40 horsepower engine, maybe we can put a 60 horsepower engine in there. Or even a 95. This will make it quite heavy, but potentially very quick on its feet. And I do think that is going to make for a fun tank to drive. Because, again, it's a fun tank. It's not necessarily something that sells. Tracks-wise, I do believe it started out with the Luton tracks, which unfortunately give you a pretty bad power-to-weight ratio. You can also go with the Leichtwagen tracks, which give you a bit more available tonnage. Like we're going from 11 tons to 13 tons. If you're feeling like operating with a freak show, you can go with, where are they, the Dahoos, which makes this tank capable of going up to 19 tons. You might argue then, well, we can toss in a bigger engine, but unfortunately, seeing as it's a very small tank, that doesn't actually work. Thus, giving this thing very heavy tracks probably isn't gonna work. Because the tank is simply not going to be able to have the power-to-weight ratio that we need. And I would very much like this to be positive or just above positive, so that we're going to have at least some bonus from that. So, when it comes to the tracks, like these things have a weight of 3,321, making them quite heavy. Maybe we can shrink those down a little bit. All right, let's have a look. The FT-17, what are we currently using for weight? It used to be 2770, and let's see if I can still give this thing some punch, some armor, as well as not make it too heavy. I tend to pick improved cemented steel because you do get a slightly better spall resistance, but you are paying for that with additional weight. So maybe that's not the best call. It's really going to depend on what a contract wants. Next, they're using a trapezoid hull hatch. We do have better hull hatches available. And this thing weighs 31. So let's keep it more or less in that area. We have one for 38, but that's a 2-1. Let's see. How are the stats? We're looking at crew safety mostly. That's at least one of the stats that is definitely going to be moving. Top thickness is getting worse. Okay. That's protection department. If I go with the 2 Mark II, we're giving it like a 7 kilogram heavier hatch, but crew safety improves a lot. As for crew communication external and crew comfort, I think we'll be fine. They don't really like the reinforced turret hatch. Maybe that's something I can still work on. As for, look, this is really old shit. I think that we can do better with a radio. Also, it takes up quite a lot of room. What does it really give us? Like a bit of crew awareness. How are we doing for crew awareness? The crew awareness is 17. We can push it to 18. But you're suffering a little bit of transportability. And this one has like a 664 minus 5. So this is 16, 11. This is 11, 13, 10. So yeah, arguably this one's slightly better. I'm not sure if it's going to fit though. Maneuverability. Mobility operation range is 6. If I do add additional fuel stowage, we can push that to 18 or 13. Let's go 13. And then for the shell stowage, we don't really carry a whole lot of shells. The problem is this takes up quite a lot of room. And of course the crew safety is going to take a hit, but crew safety is pretty good right now. So let's go with that. As for armor protection, what do we have? I think it's not bad. I find that the game does seem to penalize the addition of armor very, very heavily. So up until the point where I know exactly what a contract wants, I'm not really going to invest in just adding 34 millimeters of armor because it just adds so much weight to the vehicle. So if I save this one, that gives us a new version. Where did you go? All the way down here? Yeah. So, yeah, we definitely gained a lot of weight for relatively few attributes. So that's not good. It might have to do a little bit with this thing. Attributes are still 414. Oh, I didn't adjust this one. No, I did. It auto-adjusted, I think. But these are 1%, these are 2%. This is not where the weight of the vehicle is. I think it might be in the cemented steel. If I give it like 1 Mark III, looking at 17%, of wrought iron is low mass, but low protection. Finding the right balance here is going to be tricky. Then again, seeing as this thing is supposed to be driven for speed, maybe we can go with that. That's just the 1 Mark I. Okay, we'll take the 12%er. It's not spectacular, but maybe we can boost the engine to still make this thing drivable. Okay, I think I did skip over the design. I didn't save that. So, yeah, here we go. That's that new hull. Then we had the Puma, but I still want a different version of that engine, because we might be able to do better. Yes. And when it came to the tracks, I think we're using the base ones, although we have to engineer those. And then when it came to this, it's going to be that better turret and the better German gun. Right, so this one's getting engineered, pretty much. This one, let's go with the engine. It has to be a powerful engine, yet one that's ideally not very heavy. So a very good power-to-weight ratio would be appreciated. When it comes to mass, 1757, volume is maybe a little high for this tank. Not sure if this will fit. It's using the Tier 2 Mark V. And when it comes to obstacles, slope, yeah, it's not great at 7. Cross-country speed is pretty good. Operational range at 12 I think will be sufficient. If I want to do something about the obstacle step height, we would have to go back to the alloy padded brakes. Sorry, the brake pad, alloy brake pad brakes. But, of course, that's going to suffer some other stats. However, this thing will have to be able to climb obstacles. When it comes to my cross-country speed, I want to boost that. So it's going to be a switch to the gearbox. Right now we're using a semi-automatic gearbox. And that is giving me a debuff to cross-country speed. If I want to give it a boost to cross-country speed, I can use the semi-automatic gearbox. The Tier 2 Mark IV. And this is going to give me less of a power unit. Oh, the repairability goes down. But you're now looking... you're looking at a cross-country speed of 50. Yes, I like this. Okay, I think that's pretty good. The carburetor can still potentially get a boost. Or can give a boost to that. Oh, -4. Yeah, we're not doing that. Give me a twin carburetor. How fast can we make this baby? 49? Hold on. Why is that? We're getting... Oh, sorry, this is cross-country speed. My bad. I'm looking at road speed. So 7 is not bad in that case. 7. It gets progressively worse from there. Okay, so we're going to have to stick with this one, I think. Cross-country speed of 50. I like it. This is, of course, going to come at some expense to some other parts. But, yeah, they'll just have to... they'll just have to adapt to what we're using. As for the obstacle step height, it's not that good. Obstacle step height. Cumulative attribute that defines tank performance while scaling. High obstacles, typical for passive man-made tank obstacles. Yeah, I do think we have one of those in the track that we use as a testing ground. I think it'll be fine. Especially with our cross-country speed, we might get a lot of power there. I think the road speed versus cross-country speed is hilarious. This thing is supposed to be blisteringly quick. I don't know if it will actually do that. I'm looking forward to trying that. Interestingly, we're still very much within our design budget, but power-to-weight ratio is not that good. Road speed is not as good, and cross-country speed is only 24. Okay, maybe we can fix part of that with the tracks. What sort of track stat are we getting right now? What sort of tracks are they, or track parts are they using? If I'm again looking at cross-country speed, you can see the solid sprocket, and the sprung rollers are giving me some bonus. So the solid sprocket. This is a tier 1 Mark 1, so we're going to go a little better than that. It's giving me a +2. Right. We can push that to a +8. And now our cross-country speed is 14. Oh, we can even push it to the duraluminum. 19. You are paying for that with agility. A lot. That might be a problem. If I'm going for this one, cross-country... No, this is road speed, this is cross-country. So now it would be a lot faster on the road, but cross-country just dips. No, we're not doing that. Okay, we'll take this one. And what else can we do? We can use the sprung rollers to adjust it a little bit. They're using 1-1s, yes, but it's coming at a debuff to the road speed. It's coming at a buff to the cross-country speed. If I am looking in other parts, road speed is going to get up a lot, but cross-country speed dips. This is cross-country speed and road speed. Unfortunately, it is frickin' heavy. These things are 1,330 kilograms. These things are 3,500. The improved bogie suspension. So while these things might give you a lot of cross-country speed, they'll make your tank a whole lot heavier. I don't think I can quite afford that. Let's go with something that's a little lighter. The leaf spring suspension. It's a 2.5. It's not as heavy as it used to be. It doesn't take up tons and tons of volume like this one does. And yes, you're suffering road speed, but cross-country speed again boosts. So that's nice. As for grousers, we have access to 2-3, which is going to give you better obstacle step angle. Which right now, like, I'm not sure if a 14 is good or bad, but obstacle step height is not that good. If I can give him light grousers, I can boost that. Obstacle step height's improving, obstacle slope angle is improving. Of course, this is going to add a lot to the weight of the track. Because it adds 6%, so we're going to 2913 or 2749. If I put these things on, and I compare the weight of the tracks, I'm probably going to be pretty scared. We need to start folding a whole lot of these things in. We even got tadpoles in there. That's old stuff. Land ships. Hornets. Luton. There. Oh, the tracks are actually lighter with a very, very much improved attribute sum. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, good. The crew comfort is going to suffer. Tough luck. The welded grousers, yeah, like my obstacle step height isn't good to begin with. So if I don't have this buff and I switch it to this, I don't have any obstacle step height. This thing will not be able to climb anything. With this thing, it should be able to. At least that's the plan. Back to the design. Okay, so that is the track, the engine, and the hull engineered. Let's go for the turret. And I hope that everything is still going to fit within the specifications. We have a mushroom cupola. Yes, I don't think so. That's a tier 1-1. Let's go to tier 2-3. Yeah, that's an improvement. The rotating cupola. which is going to give you somehow still worse crew aiming. And crew aiming to begin with is spectacularly awful. It's only 3. Yeah, that's pretty bad. We're going to have to adjust that. So let's go with the armored glass cupola. And the crew is absolutely oblivious to anything that goes on outside. Okay, maybe that's not the right way to go. We do need to mix between crew awareness. And yeah, this is going to give me some crew awareness, some crew aiming. Okay. As for the armor, I don't think we're going to use wrought armor. Sorry, wrought iron. We're going to go with the improved cemented steel. Pushes it to 507 or to 493. No, we're going to go with this. And then we have the turret hatch, which I believe was one of the parts that was giving me a bit of a debuff. Especially the crew safety. Or what was it? Crew comfort? No, they don't care for that. Let's see, what can I improve with this? I can go for the reinforced turret hatch or the vision. Oh, vision sounds good. It's going to not do wonders to the crew safety, but I have a bit to spare there. So with this, I should get more vision? No. No, they don't. Vision sight turret hatch. Can they actually see anything out of it? Nope. Okay. Crew survivability with the spring-assisted hatch is improving at the expense of top ricochet. Well, as long as you don't get attacked by a plane, we should be fine. So, can I engineer all of this? Can I turn this into a drivable tank? It seems to be the case. This is not going to have a terribly great power-to-weight ratio. Road speed is only 11. Cross-country speed is 33. This thing is going to bob up and down any kind of road that you throw at it. Yeah, I think that's going to be funny. Okay, let's put some... Oh, it's a 2-man crew. Right. So you're a driver gunner. And you're a loader mechanic? Does that exist? Oh, can you be a driver mechanic? Yes. And then you can be a gunner loader. And we're just going to run without a commander. If that's possible. And why do they want that? They want that because of the turret? This one? Oh, hold on. Maybe that has to do with the vision thing. If I kick that back out, maybe I can improve that. Because supposedly, this is going to require a crew member, is it not? Let's see. I do believe that some of you said you can have a look at how much crew is required for any given part. If I change this from an unarmored cupola to something else, I don't know, like a rangefinder, that actually improves crew awareness. No, it doesn't. Because the other one buffed crew awareness even more. Crew aimings, 14. Crew awareness is fairly low. Crew aiming is going to take a hit. Crew awareness... Oh, crew aiming takes a massive hit. We can't do that. I'm not sure exactly if or where I can find out how many crew members I need for any given part. Because I'm not seeing it here as a pop-up. Or as a tooltip. If I just give it the box cupola, we're going to have a pretty bad crew awareness, like 0. So I do want at least some there. I think this is still the better option. Because you're getting a decent amount of crew awareness, you're getting a decent amount of crew aiming, crew comfort. Like, you don't... It's not a sports car, right? You don't sit in it because it sits nicely. This one is a little lighter, but the crew safety is better. But your crew aiming just sucks. Can't do that. Okay, so the bunker side it is. Save. You know what? Just get to work. Get to work, minions. We have a tank to build. So that's getting built. And the gun is fine as is. We're going to have 2 crew members. We even have a low mechanic point. Oh, the Puma is a bit aggressive. Right, the crew requirement for the Puma is 2, whereas for the Renault it's only 1. Okay, if I switch it to a different engine, we're going to have a more... Yeah, like the attribute sum for this is very good. The attribute sum for this is just disastrous, so I'd have to create a new one. 143, 150. I don't think it's going to get a whole lot better than that. Let's see if let's see if they'll accept the tank. Maybe they will. Oh, we got a 2-4. Let's go with the resistant fuel and the purified oil. This is going to give it slightly less running gear, but more running gear, but more... Okay, whatever. That one. Paint, this one. So, yeah, this is our new boy. And apparently they... Holy shit, those tracks. I want to drive this. I want to drive this. Let me engineer this tank. And, yeah, we're going to have some fun with this thing. Unfortunately, I did hit a bit of a snag. The gun that I was using, or at least was planning on using, the KW K36, has a crew requirement of 4. So I can't do that. Unfortunately, I cannot do that. So it's just going to be stuck with the SA-18. And this means that we'll have far less of a gun attribute, but still a relatively quick tank to move it around with. So let's say this is going to be the off-roadster. And save that, and now I can assign it. Because previously it said, hold on, you don't have all the points fitted. Fine. Okay. Oh, come on. Here is your new type of shell. Look at that, Mark 6. Nice improvement. Alright, assign. People start working on this tank, please. Even the engineers were overly excited with designing that tank because they had a breakthrough and boom, instantly it was done. So let's see if this thing will actually work as advertised. Keep in mind, it only has one gun. And it does not have a coaxial, so you're getting 50 shells, and that is it. This off-road speed isn't terrible. And yeah, it can definitely maneuver across obstacles, that's for sure. Like, it's not exactly as much as a speedster as I'd expected. But it sure gets around. I just don't know if anybody's eagerly awaiting the arrival of a tank like this, because... it's a bit of a weird vehicle. And considering that the tracks are probably a little heavier than they really... Whoops, that's almost in the same direction. They're a bit heavier than was actually required. Wait. Shall we try that again? Gun on target. What the hell? Gun? Can we shoot straight, please? Thank you. That sent him flying, alright. Wow, the accuracy on the move with this thing is absolutely atrocious. I think that what the devs ought to do... Come on. What the devs ought to do here is give you the ability to just drive over these things, as opposed to just having to hit them with a machine... Excuse me? With a machine gun or a main... What? This is getting ridiculous now. With a machine gun or a main gun. Because, I mean, a tank crushing you should be a perfectly viable strategy, right? So why are we still suffering from this weird issue? This thing can shift. Like, the way that it just spins on its tracks. Look at that. I'm gonna do a full turn. Again, this was mostly to keep my engineers, designer, and myself happy. Because I was eagerly willing to test if this is actually a viable thing in 1928. 1929? I'm not even sure what year we're in now. Ah, you can kill tanks. Isn't that lovely? Unfortunately, dealing with infantry is not something this will do well. As for the mobility and the weight, that might be the selling point of the tank. Those two might make for the points that the developers, or sorry, that the clients are actually interested in. Just dealing with infantry, like, you're leaving a lot of points on the table there. That's a bit of a problem. If this turret would have the option to go coaxial, I think we'd have a perfect tank. Well, not perfect, but a more interesting tank in that fashion. Because you can deal with both targets. Or give me the ability to load some sort of shrapnel shot into the gun, like a shotgun shell. And give me the ability to just blast targets with that, as opposed to having to hit them straight on, which, if you don't do that, the game's going to say, hey, sorry, you missed the target, even if you're standing right in front of it. Let's see if I can get another one of these targets. Let's not try that on the move. Yeah, we got one. I do like the mobility on this tank. That is very, very nice. I think if I were to run an actual tank company as opposed to, let's say, the more limited versions in the game, it would be all about mobility. I don't know, there's just something about something being quick on their feet. Be it a tank, be it like a stealthy sniper archer in Skyrim, be it a light cruiser or a destroyer in World of Warships. Whenever it's light and agile and fast, that's stuff that attracts me. The slow lumbering behemoths, the massive battleships, I go, nah, too slow, don't really care. This thing, it sits more in the frame of, I'm reasonably quick, and I can get around. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if getting around is going to be enough for this tank, because I might be able to get around quickly. Oh, almost hit the tank. But I don't think you can actually get enough points if you don't take out at least some of the infantry targets here. At least this gun reel is pretty quick. There, I do believe that last checkpoint's worth 15 points. So we should still be able to get that objective done. But this is kind of where the tank lacks, the machine gun. As for the rest, yeah, not bad. Let's see if somebody's actually interested in getting this tank. Because we got this tank available, or this contract rather. A supply contract for a mobile gun solution to the 7th Battalion for the Colonial Patrol Tank. Very good, that's a whole mouthful. And where is our tank? Here. Yeah, I was kind of worried about that. If you're looking at the biggest detractors, it's protection for minus 1,000. And you're looking at a lack of firepower. This thing gets an X4 for firepower hard. So the big gun, not the machine gun. Like they don't like that it doesn't have a machine gun. Firepower soft, minus 268, but they don't hate it. Firepower hard is very, very important to them. And whereas I do have quite a lot of weight points, because my tank only weighs 8.8 tons, it's not going to compensate for all the problems that this thing has. If I could fix... No, I can't fix that. I don't think I can put enough protection on this tank. Because what they want... Well, yeah, shock resistance is what they want, which is not what I'm providing. So that's a big detractor. And then front thickness... I can maybe do that, but the power to weight ratio is going to go right out the door. So yeah, it was a fun experience. It was a fun tank to drive. Unfortunately, nobody actually is interested in buying it. Nevertheless, plenty more tanks to engineer, plenty more tanks to build, because we still have a few more hulls that we can work with. When it comes to structure, we still have the single turret light tank, and we're going to be able to get the multi-turreted light tank, as well as, of course, with all the parts that come with that. Mobility-wise, I'm almost at the end of the tech tree, and firepower-wise, I have researched that mountain howitzer, so I'm going to try and mount that on another heavy tank soon. Not today, though. Thank you for watching the episode, hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for more.